Morning. Day 5 of BookTubeAthon. Gonna let me read today? Oh, your face is so warm.
Skippy actually has her own door panel on the refrigerator, just dedicated to her. So I've gotten to page 101 in Jaws, so I'm right there. I feel like I'm really failing in BookTube this time around, not getting a lot read as much as I would like. I have to go to work. I have to leave by 1:30 today. Currently it's 6:45, so I'm going to try to read as much as I can. I'm sure I'll take a break to go walk Skippy, which then I'll listen to an audiobook or something. But yeah, I'm going to dive right in. Another water joke. Anyway, I'm going to dive right into this. Hopefully I won't get eaten up.
What? You want to go to the park, don't you? Huh? You want to go park? Yeah? Should we go park? Let's go park.
Well, it's currently 8:30. Skippy and I are back at the park having our first morning walk. Like I said, I have to go to work later on today, but it's nice being out in the beautiful weather. It's like 70 degrees. It's supposed to hit over 90 tomorrow with real high humidity, so that'll be kind of nasty, but I'll be home. Yeah, Skippy, get away from that. Anyway, so yeah, I was reading Jaws this morning, got up to about page 125. It's interesting, I haven't seen the movie since like when it came out. What was that, in the 70s sometime? Hoping to watch it tomorrow if I can finish the book in time. But you know, you still have those little flashes of memory from the movie and the characters, from the actors who portrayed them, like Richard Dreyfuss playing Matt Hooper, the shark expert from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, and Brody, Captain Brody, the chief of police, and still remember all the actors playing those parts, so they're kind of filling in the roles in my head. It's kind of cool, but yeah, from what I remember, it seems to be staying pretty true to the movie, but again, we'll see when I watch it. I'm listening to this audiobook called The Book of M by Peng Shepherd. Two different narrators, a male and a female, with a character that the female pronounces Gadrajan and the male pronounces it Gajarajan. Just another little annoyance in this book. The other annoyance is there's a lot of inconsistencies in the plot. The basic story is there's some kind of plague going on and people are losing their shadows. It starts with one man in India who's kind of this sensation. People follow him around. They're, you know, just amazed by the whole thing of him losing his shadow. It's like some kind of weird miracle, until he starts losing his memories, and then it starts to spread all over the place. There's a couple that we're following. That's the major couple. Ori, also his full name is Orlando John, who goes through most of the book known as Ori, until about 3/4 of the way through he decides he wants to just be called John. Why? Was that really necessary? There's no reason to just change his name suddenly. And then you have this other character, Gajarajan or Gadrajan, who two different narrators have to pronounce it differently. The plot inconsistencies are basically in terms of memory. Hey, where are you going into the car? Memory in terms of how they're losing their memory and the things they forget, and how some people seem to latch on to certain things throughout the book, and they should be forgetting like all this stuff, but like, oh, this one character named Max, who is the, I forget if it was girlfriend or wife of Ori, she seems to remember him through almost the entire book. yet forgets like everything about herself. And just average things, you know, like the names of things, how to read even after a certain point, and yet she keeps consistently remembering Ori. Why? It's just a lot of weird little plot points that seem rather inconsistent in the story of it, but that pronunciation of that name is just irritating the crap out of me. Oh, who wants a cookie? Who wants a cookie?
I got cookies. There she goes. I planted seeds that I gathered from my zinnia and marigolds last year, and they're doing really, really well. Planted this whole big row here, and then there's several pots on the patio over there. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how well they're coming out. I don't know where these white flowers came from. Anybody know what kind these are? So they just kind of popped out through the fence, right along the line here by the marigolds, and they look kind of nice. I just don't know what they are. Well, I'm sitting in the parking lot at work. Brought my book here. I'm about 35 minutes early. Left a little earlier than I meant to, but that's fine. Page 193, so moving right along with my book. Stopped off and got myself a nice coffee, which is good because it's kind of warm in here. I don't really want to sit in the break room because it's always too loud and distracting, so I'm going to sit here and read as much as I can before I have to go in. Well, I'm back in my car again. I'm on break right now. It is 5:30 and I'm back to Jaws. I'm on page 211, so I'm making really good progress. Got that much left. So here we go. Diving in. Ready for the park? Well, that yawn doesn't really tell me you're ready for the park. I thought I was a sleepy one this morning. 5.5 hours of sleep. Got home 11 o'clock, read till midnight. She wakes me up at 5:30. Really? All right, let's go. Walkies. Well, good morning. Day 6, Saturday morning. BookTubeAthon 2018. It is currently just about 8 o'clock in the morning. We are at the usual park, but I went to a different parking spot. There's several parking lots that surround this park, so I thought maybe if I took Skippy to a different part, maybe she'd walk a little bit more. As you saw just the previous clip, I am starting a new audiobook called Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. I don't remember what the plot is. When I find out, I will let you know. But I downloaded it quite some time ago and forgot about it, and I really enjoyed Nightingale by her, so I wanted to try another book. I have 42 more pages left of Jaws, basically 2 chapters, so I should finish that this morning, and then I'm going to have a little movie afternoon watching the movie, because it's supposed to get super hot, and I won't be outside very much. Skippy's doing her business, so I got some work to do. Well, we just finished our walk. Skippy did really good. She went around the whole big circle part here. Haven't been down the side in a while, so it was kind of nice for a change of pace. Lots of people walking their dogs. Ran into one guy walking his dog, and he recognized me before I recognized him. Used to know him from back when I worked at B. Dalton. He worked in a little Euro place across the mall walkway, neighboring store, basically. Used to eat there all the time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, small world, you know. But yeah, really nice reconnecting with him. So anyway, we're off home. Sure she's gonna want her cookie or something cooler. Maybe we'll have some watermelon. We'll see if we have any at home. Yeah, and then back to Jaws.
Oh, ice cream. My throat feels so raspy from allergies. I figured maybe ice cream would help. Oh. Ooh, that's good. Cherry and chocolate. So something just happened in chapter 13, which is the second to last chapter in the book, that I don't remember happening in the movie. So I'm really curious to see the movie now and if that same outcome happens. For lunch break, got avocado on toast with red peppers and feta cheese. Yum. So as part of BookTubeAthon's book-to-movie adaptation, I finished Peter Benchley's Jaws, and now I'm getting ready to watch the movie adaptation. I've got a copy here, widescreen. Got some snacks ready to go. Got some popcorn. Also got some like movie candy. Got some Raisinets, Snow Caps, some of my favorites. And I can't wait to see this movie again. It's been a long time. Jaws, the book to movie adaptation. Yeah, I first saw this, when it came out back in the 70s. Never actually had a chance to read the book until now. I really enjoyed the book, but there were some parts of it that I felt were unnecessary to the storyline, and I like that they were trimmed out in the movie, and I'll kind of get into that a bit more. The basic premises of this is it's focused on a small seaside community called Amity, and it makes its fortune pretty much, sustains the community through its summer tourist season. And unfortunately that is in jeopardy because of a shark in the waters around Amity. Begins with a young woman getting killed. Her remains are found on the beach. It's pretty horrific. It was horrific in the movie, but it was very well described within the book as well. And our Chief Brody, who is from New York, he's not a native of the town, but he wants to close the beaches for the safety of the community. But of course, the people that own businesses are against that. The big summer season's about to start. It's a 12-week season. They need that influx of tourists. And if the beaches are closed, who's going to want to come? So Larry Vaughn, the mayor, kind of talks him out of it, saying, what are the chances this shark is going to come back? There's never been sharks reported in this area, and nothing like this has ever happened. It's probably like a tornado, it touched down once and it's not going to happen again. I think you're safe. He really is reluctant to do it. His job is sort of threatened in a way too by the mayor saying, you're just as elected as I am, and you could be replaced. And he ends up backing down on it, thinking they're probably right. It's probably not going to come back. Then it does, and a young boy is killed. And when the hush-up about the first death is found out, there's an uproar. He takes a lot of the blame. He does personally anyway, because he shouldn't have backed down. He feels like he shouldn't have, but he shouldn't hold the main responsibility of it. That should lie with the mayor, who pretty much effectively ordered him to open up the beaches. So now there's a struggle to shut them back down. Now, this is exactly reflected within the movie, that all that is totally mirrored perfectly. In the book, you have an ulterior motive also as to why the mayor wants the beaches kept open. I don't think it was necessary, that whole little storyline that you come across with some secret that he's holding. He's also has a partnership in a real estate company, so he owns a lot of property on the island, and his partners are always kind of secretive. No one knows who his partners are, and the chief kind of he suspects something, and he starts investigating into that and uncovers a whole bunch of things. And I felt like that whole storyline was unnecessary, and I'm glad to see it was cut out of the movie. In fact, it kind of just peters off about 3/4 of the way into the book. But I think the main reason you only needed was the fact that, yeah, it's a tourist season. It's going to affect a lot of the people on the island. It could be the ruination of the island if they don't have that summer tourist influx. So that was enough. You didn't need this other storyline. So I'm glad they cut that out of the movie. Moving on, it kind of follows the same pattern where now they've got to protect the people and they've got to find some way to track down this shark. So they bring in an expert named Matt Hooper from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, played here by Richard Dreyfuss. This is Chief Brody, played by Roy Schneider. So Matt Hooper, we come to find out, he had an older brother who dated Chief Brody's wife before they were married, when they were much younger. And actually, Matt Hooper had a bit of a crush on Brody's wife before they got married. So they have a bit of a past history. She seems a bit disillusioned with her married life, I guess, or life in this small town, having come from New York. I think she lived in a little bit of a different class, a little upper class. She's trying to reconnect, we find out, with some of her past friends that she kind of distanced herself with for a while, and she's kind of missing that kind of scene, I guess, that excitement. The part where that whole story and her connection to Matt Hooper and the scenario that kind of follows from that whole scene, I didn't really care for in the story, in the book. I could have done without that. It's completely left out, again, of the movie. It didn't seem all that necessary. It does change a lot in terms of the relationship, the working relationship once they're trying to track down this shark and learn more about it and kill it, basically, between Chief Brody and Matt Hooper. There's a lot of animosity that takes place between these characters within the book, suspicions that Brody has about Hooper. Makes him nearly come to blows at times on the ship. And like I said, I didn't really care for that. It wasn't a story part that I was interested in, and I didn't like the way it affected the characters. So yeah, slimmed down a lot more in this, and I appreciated that much more. Then we bring in our third main character, only known by the name of Quint. That's this fella here. He's a fisherman, rather gruff guy. He's played by Robert Shaw, British actor. I really liked his portrayal of the character. In fact, I liked all three of these actors within these roles. I thought they were perfect for it. Having seen the movie first, even though it was many years ago, I had images of them when I was reading the book. So I saw those characters already. So I wonder what it would have been like having read the book first and then seeing the movie. But he was a great character. I liked his introduction in the movie. It was pretty cool. In the book, they kind of seek him out as someone who they think might be able to take them out in the water and help, track down this shark and kill him. He's not necessarily an expert, but he's an expert fisherman. We don't really know a whole lot about him. I think we get more insight into his character in the movie than we did within the book. But yeah, he's a little, it's like right out of Moby Dick, was it Captain Ahab or whatever, becomes obsessed as the story goes on, trying to just kill the shark. He's fed up with it. He always says that, fish are stupid and everything. This shark proves him wrong, and it becomes a test of wills, both within the movie and the book, and I thought that mirrored it perfectly. The ending is different between both. And again, I want to keep it vague for people who haven't seen either one of them. I much preferred the ending of the movie than the book. Overall, if I'm gonna rate which is my favorite, it's gonna be the movie. I think Spielberg did an excellent job of adapting the book into the movie. He weeded out the parts that I found less interesting within the book. Kept the storyline a little true. Like I said, I liked the fact that he left out this major conflict between Brody and Hooper out of the movie. I liked the relationship between these two characters, and actually all three at one point when they're all kind of getting drunk on the ship, sharing their stories and their battle wounds. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed kind of comparing the two, seeing like the differences of it, and it's kind of actually reading the source material finally. So yeah, if you guys haven't had a chance to check these out, I would definitely recommend it, and I'd be curious to see what your thoughts are and which ones you prefer too. So now that I've finished that, it's a Saturday, it's like 4 o'clock. I've got whatever left of today, and then tomorrow I have to work 8 to 4, so I don't have a lot of time to kind of get into my next book, but I'm going to make a start on it, and that's The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This could also be another book with green on the cover, but it's the one I chose for Beautiful Spine. So yeah, It's pretty big chunker. It's 416 pages or so, so I'll make a start at it and see where I go. It's about 10 to 6 on day 6. Feeling really wiped out. I don't know, maybe it was just that 5.5 hours sleep last night, and then reading all day and watching Jaws and filming, and I haven't even started the Essex Serpent, other than maybe read a bit of the prologue. So I'm gonna make some coffee, see if that helps wake me up a little bit, and then maybe I'll read. I probably won't end up reading until I get to bed, who knows. And then probably not for too long, because God, all of a sudden I'm just really wiped out. It could be the weather. Hey Skippy, are you sleepy too? Final day of BookTube, day 7. It's currently 6:15 in the morning, and I'm just finishing up some breakfast and getting ready to go to work. Work 8 to 4 today. I'll have a little bit of time on my break to do some reading, and then once I get home, I can read up to midnight because I don't have to work tomorrow. So we'll see if I make any progress on the Essex Serpent. Alright, it's 12:30. Got about half an hour of break time left to do some reading. It's like a bird. Just put your hand out with something in it and she shows up. Homemade pizza for dinner.
Or Papa John.
This Papa John pizza.
Papa John.
Well, I'm not doing great at all. I'm only on page 44, and it's 9 o'clock right now, so I'm actually going to climb into bed and try and do some reading. It's a little too noisy everywhere else in the house, so maybe I'll be able to concentrate a bit more. Hey guys. Well, if you made it through this long of a vlog, congratulations. Yep, BookTubeAthon's over. I only made it to about page 60 of the Essex Serpent. I gave up last night about 10:30. But I've completed 2 full books and 4 challenges, so I was happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Skippy and I are going to say goodbye. Bye. Bye, Skip. Thanks for watching.